What is currently happening, programs? Welcome to the Grid VR, where I'll be bringing you this week's news in virtual reality. It's Sunday, the 17th of May 2020, and all I can say this week is, that is unreal. We've got Unreal Engine 5 keeping it real, Half-Life Alyx workshop mods, anything's a deal, a sandwich tale virtually making a meal, virtual raves, mini Beatsabers, 5G VR headsets to soar, and much more. Today I'm going to cover off the main events to keep you in the loop, so stay locked, enjoy, and welcome to the Grid VR. Epic Games announced the new Unreal Engine 5 this week and posted a video showing the new engine's capabilities, the two most notable of which are Nanite, which lets artists create extreme details on objects and surfaces by losslessly compressing billions of triangles per frame down to around 27 million triangles per frame, and Lumen, a dynamic global illumination system for real-time realistic lighting. These two technologies, in combination with existing tech in Unreal Engine 4, like the Niagara visual effects system, which handles things like bounce lighting and dynamic illumination through particle manipulation, are set to bring a new level of realism to the virtual table. Epic Games also announced that Unreal Engine 5 will be completely free for you to use up until your game makes $1 million or more, which will take the initial financial strain away from indie devs and encourage more people to get creative without fear of spending money until they are making serious money. In addition to all of that, Epic's online service has launched in full and for free to all devs, meaning that things like matchmaking, cross-play, cross-progression, and other online features are available for all to utilize in their games. So how does this all relate to VR? Well, while a lot of flat games like Fortnite, Borderlands, or Unreal Tournament are made using the Unreal Engine, similarly a lot of VR games are made in Unreal Engine, like Walking Dead, Asgard's Wrath, and Vader Immortal. Unreal Engine 5 itself has been confirmed to support VR headsets, including the Oculus Quest and PC VR HMDs. And if we're talking specifically about Unreal Engine 5 on the PlayStation 5, which is what the demo you are seeing now is running on, then we move into what this means for the PSVR 2. And if you haven't already, you can see what that is starting to shape up to be in the last week's episode of the Grid VR. It's no secret that headsets like Valve's Index push around 4 to 5 times the amount of pixels as a flat screen game, and that's running on a PC. Not only that, but the demo on screen is running at 30 FPS, where the VR accepted minimum is around 72 FPS, and 90 FPS being the middle standard. So when we talk about running VR games on consoles, we start to see the limitations set in place by the hardware, and also from the software a console is running. Better optimized software means you can get more out of your hardware, and so any advancements in game engines like Unreal Engine 5 are going to make VR development more productive and VR gaming more visually and interactively appealing on lower level hardware, in this case a console like the PlayStation 5. Graphics will require a lot less resources, which means more resource can be allocated to things like physics modeling, and you can import cinematic assets, and a project optimizes them for real-time automatically. And with Unreal Engine being targeted more towards the casual creator, more so at least than its main competitor, the Unity game engine, expect to see fan-made and indie projects like the one I covered in these videos here to take a step forward, and PSVR games to do the same along with them. Don't expect Unreal Engine 5 to be an overnight game changer, but expect it to start changing games for the better in 2021. And in combination with the PS5's hardware, expect better PSVR 2 games, and a better experience for what is currently the biggest standalone VR market out there, the home console VR market. Over to Valve, the Half-Life Alyx Steam Workshop tools are now officially available on Steam and free for anyone to download and start building whatever their mind can come up with, using the Half-Life Alyx game assets and Source 2 engine. And with Half-Life Alyx lightsabers and custom maps popping up already, on top of the mods I covered in this episode of the Grid VR, which includes a mod that lets programs play Half-Life Alyx on a flat screen, and you can see more about that mod in this video here, it's great to see the VR modding community kicking off and centered around Valve's most successful launch of a Half-Life title to date. On top of that, Half-Life Alyx is now owned by over 1 million people, according to Steam Spy, which is most definitely the trademark of a successful game, let alone a VR game. And Half-Life Alyx is now officially supported on Linux, if that's your jam, and supports the Vulkan API, which has a lot of advantages in terms of reducing processing power needed for high-end 3D games. With the next-gen Half-Life mod gate opened up, the potential here is literally limitless, and it's exciting to see the start of a new era of the Half-Life modding community, and all the creations which are bound to ensue. And briefly, after a string of delays, the Iron Man VR game is confirmed, again, to be releasing on the PSVR on July 3rd. A reasonably typical story is on offer here in that the game's antagonist, Ghost, who is still bitter from that time Stark-made weapons impacted his life years earlier somehow, and who now intends to destroy Stark's empire using his own brand of technology because a good revenge story is best served on a bed of hypocrisy, blast out of a plane, shoot down enemies in the sky, and other Iron Man branded cool shit. Iron Man VR will release on the PSVR at $40 for the standard edition, or there's a digital deluxe edition for $50, which includes a soundtrack, PS4 theme, in-game points, deco armors, and of course, the game. Tetris Effect, a gorgeous reinvention of one of the most popular puzzle games of all time, and the winner of over 50 awards, is now on Oculus Quest. Pulse, dance, shimmer, and explode in perfect sync across 30 plus stages and 10 plus modes in what is hands down the best way I've ever seen to experience Tetris. There's an all-new zone mechanic where players can stop time by entering the zone, and everything else you'd expect to see from this title. Tetris Effect is on the Oculus Quest store for $30 US, which I have to admit is a little on the pricey side, but if Tetris is your thing and VR is too, then your money's worth is certainly guaranteed. Continuing on the Tetris vibe, a program called Nerofuture has posted a video on Reddit of a PvP Tetris themed VR game called Battle Blocks, and it looks like a great game to play with friends. There is no release date here and really not a lot of info, but what is being shown here looks very solid, well thought out, visually appealing, and pretty much what you see is what you're going to get. And you can stay locked here for updates on that one. Cookout, A Sandwich Tale is an upcoming multiplayer VR game where you'll need to cook your way through a wacky and whimsical adventure that requires collaboration and communication to keep the customers happy and progress through increasingly hectic levels, according to the post on the website. Not a ton of info on this one either, but it does look fun. Will be out later this year on Rift, Quest, PSVR, WMR, and Steam VR headsets, and there are links in the description if you'd like to see more. Going back to Epic Games for a moment, Grand Theft Auto 5 is free on the Epic Store until May 21st, and this will be compatible with the free VR mod I covered in this video right here. Though right now we will need to wait for ScriptHook, which the mod relies on to work, to be updated for this VR mod to work. But grab your copy now and get your expert level traffic dodging skills on. Synthspace is a modular synth for VR that lets you patch cables and visualize the resulting waveforms in a virtual studio space. If you've ever used modular units like the Moog synths or more complex varieties like the Eurorack systems, then you'll know what to expect. If not, then you can expect everything from blips and squeaks all the way through to big fat rich analog saw sounds. There's a link to the developer's Patreon account in the description below, and I'd recommend having a look if you're at all musically inclined. Daniel Beauchamp, aka Push Matrix, the head of AR and VR at Shopify, has put together a sweet little demo of a mini Beatsaber game using the Oculus Quest's built-in hand tracking system. This is done in virtual reality, but looking at it, you can instantly see see how cool this would be in a mixed reality setup, where for instance you could be sitting on a plane wearing mixed reality glasses, like the ones I covered in this episode of the Grid VR, and playing a mini version of Beatsaber to kill the time. A great little concept, and I'd love to see it expand into an actual release. A virtual rave is happening in VR chat right now, put together by the team at Virtual Base. The rave features a range of artists playing the main stage and up to 60 people at a time attending in the crowd. The DJ sets are complemented with an insane lighting system, and if you've ever wondered what it would be like to walk out of the club at 5 AM and not have to face the public while they go on their way to work, then this one's for you. The event is invite only, but you can check the link in the description below to the set times and the Twitch stream where you can join in the chat with all the virtual attendees. Also, Oculus Quest Link now lets you use almost any USB 2 or USB 3 cable, including the one that comes with the Oculus Quest, to link your Quest to a PC and make it into a full PC VR headset. To get this working, just go into the beta tab in Oculus Home and opt into the Oculus public test channel. Facebook Reality Labs are building grip marks, which turn objects into inputs for mixed reality devices. It recognizes any one of up to 5 gripped hand poses, estimates a surface, and then a user can activate the object to reveal a bookmarked virtual interface. For instance, you can have a calculator on the back of your clutch, or turn a marker into a selection tool in mixed reality. Nvidia has announced their Cloud XR 1.0 SDK, which enables high-fidelity, augmented reality, mixed reality, and virtual reality content, collectively known as XR, to be streamed over 5G, Wi-Fi, and other high-performance networks. Even Windows and Android devices can become a high-fidelity XR display capable of showcasing professional quality graphics. It's not going to be soon, but imagine a future where you don't need a PC or mobile chip-powered Oculus Quest to play VR games. You just connect your headset to the cloud via Wi-Fi or 5G and stream a game in real time. Speaking of XR headsets capable of streaming such data, Scarred Ghost has queried Qualcomm, particularly around their XR2 5G reference design, which was announced back in Feb, and enables other manufacturers like Samsung or HP or Dell to build their own VR headset based on that design. And it's looking like we can expect such headsets out in the public sector next year. A great read, and with that level of mobile firepower, you can get ready to fly into the future. And if you want to find out more about that one or any of the other topics I've covered today, as always, all the links are in the description. And finally, Samsung are discontinuing their XR apps, which does not signal that VR is dying, just so you know. And if you want to understand why, just take a look at my list of all the Samsung apps I'll ever miss in my life. And that's this week on the Grid VR. You can help support this channel by grabbing exclusive rewards on Patreon, and if you like this video, then crush that like button, have your say in the comments below, and hit the XO logo to subscribe if you wanna. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.